My name is Josh Weiland, and I'm a pilot from Sioux Falls. My mom became an organ donor in June of 2019 at the age of 66. So my mom, Suzie Weiland, was married to my dad for almost 40 years before she had her stroke. I was an only child, so it was very important to her. My mom was a good friend to a lot of people. She was always bubbly, liked to make connections with people. My mom enjoyed singing, whether that was in church or to our kids as well. So it was June 28th, 2019. I got the phone call that most of us don't want to get. It was my dad. He said, something has happened with your mom. I think she's maybe had a stroke and I'm following her to the hospital. You know, in that time as you're driving, you're hoping for the best. You're hoping it's the stroke that's a drug can be given to, and we can work with what that outcomes are. As we got to the hospital and got up to my dad, we quickly learned that unfortunately that probably wasn't going to be the case. I remember those first few moments like just utter shock. And we walked into the room with my dad, and we were standing there, and my mom was on a ventilator. And as we stood there, still processing the news that we had just received, my dad spoke up and said, well, your mom wanted to be an organ donor. And at the time, I didn't really make that connection. Now I think about that moment a lot. But that was really the change of my mentality moving forward. I had experience before with organ donation in my career of being a pilot. I'd flown lots of patients to go and get their organs, but now the script was flipped, as you would say, maybe, and we were in that seat. So this is a photo of my mom at her birthday the year before she passed away, and our daughters had given her a bracelet. And when you look at this photo, it's one of my favorite. You can look at our youngest daughter and looking at her Nana and how much joy that moment brought her. Just a really memorable picture. We were fortunate as a family to have access to a lake, and so my mom loved water sports, and she loved to go tubing with her granddaughters. She was always a nut on the tubes, but she also liked to water ski, and so it was always fun to get her up behind the boat and to watch her go around the lake. So this was a family photo taken Father's Day weekend, 2 weeks before my mom's stroke, and still to this day, this is our favorite family holiday for our kids. But just always such a fun time with my mom there, making it special for all of our family. So what surprised me about my mom's ability to be a donor was, first of all, she was 66. I thought, well, she's a nana and she's an older lady, so there's got to be some things that maybe aren't as usable. The second thing is, when I was young, so many years ago, my mom had smoked, so I was like, well, her lungs are out of the picture. So with those two things in mind, I thought, well, maybe there'll be a couple of the organs that are usable. But as it turns out, all of them were usable. When the surgeon talked about her lungs, it was the best set of lungs they had seen on a 66-year-old. And thinking back, that doesn't surprise me. My mom, again, was very boisterous. She loved to sing. And then to know that they were able to use every organ outside of her heart because of age, I guess really just put all of those myths to bed for me. I think it's the ultimate gift. I think that we come into the world with nothing and we leave with nothing. And so for any of us to have the ability to extend someone's life in that fashion is the best gift that we can truly give. There are people today who are alive because of my mom. That's incredible.